Hi everyone, my name is Carri and I'm an ordinary South African woman from Gqeberha. But today I'm an ordinary South African woman who is gatful. Gatful of all these headlines of women being killed by their husbands, their partners, their friends, whatever. I'm gatful. It's a genocide on women from my point of view. And today I want to talk about a case which I read where this man who is accused of killing his partner has said the most despicable things about her. So much so that it has enraged me. It has enraged me. And as a South African, as an ordinary South African woman, you should also be enraged. Now, I'm not anti-men. I am married to a wonderful man who has never been violent. So I'm not crapping on any men around here, right? I'm just saying that there is a problem that is happening that we need to acknowledge and we need to do something about. So Vanessa Van Rensburg, I'm sure you've seen her picture in the news. She was a beautiful, but also an ordinary South African woman, around my age, 36 years. And she was a mother. She was a daughter to a grieving father who has been in the news. She was a sister. The point is, she was loved. And what Vanessa did was that she fell in love with the wrong man. And his name was Rob Evans. There's around a 20-year age difference between them. He was married at the time and they had an affair. Yes, having an affair is frowned upon, and it's not something that I would recommend doing, but it is something that is not a reason to kill someone over. Like, no one should be killed for having an affair. And I feel like it's been brought up on social media as though she somehow deserved this because she was the other woman for a while. That's cuck. That is absolute cuck. No one deserves to be killed for having an affair. What happens is you go to therapy or you get a divorce. That's it. So she fell in love with this guy, Rob Evans. There's around 20-year age gap between them. He's a business owner, quite wealthy, from what I can gather. And she's much younger than him and beautiful. And that will be a point later on about some of the things that he says about her. And 2 years ago, his wife found out about the affair, his ex-wife now, and they got divorced. And Vanessa and Rob continued on their relationship. But there were warning signs. From what I was gathering in the news reports, about a year ago, he locked her in his car and wouldn't let her out. This is also something to take note of. And ladies, if a man ever locks you in a car, in a room, anywhere, and prevents you from leaving, get out. Get out. He wants to control you. He wants to keep you there for a purpose. And one day, when you leave, like what I think happened in this case, when you actually leave him, he might react in a really violent way. So ladies, this is a warning sign. This is a red, red, red flag. If a man, no matter how much you love him, if he locks you in a car or locks you in a room, get out. Get out. Because this is one of the warning signs. So according to Mr. Rob Evans, which I must note is he hasn't been proven guilty in a court of law. He is the accused in this case. And I just want to say that he is innocent until proven guilty. So they wanted to spend Easter weekend together, this last Easter weekend, 2025. And he picked her up on the Saturday. And he says that she was sore. Her ribs were bruised when he picked her up. And the reason why her ribs were bruised, she was playing with her 4-year-old child. Her 4-year-old child bruised her ribs. let me tell you guys something. This man thinks that we are stupid. He thinks that we are absolute idiots if we're going to think like this. If we're going to believe him that a 4-year-old child bruised ribs. Do you know what the force it takes to bruise ribs? But no. Oh, Vanessa's ribs were bruised from roughhousing with a 4-year-old child. It is absolutely ridiculous. And then he says, he adds in there, oh, she was anemic. Because of her contraceptives that she was taking, it made her anemic and it made her moody, which was a problem in their relationship. Do you see the pattern here, what this guy is establishing? Vanessa's the problem. Vanessa's moody. Vanessa came to me with bruised ribs already. I didn't do anything. So, according to him, and we can't hear her side of the story because she is no longer with us, but according to him, they went to his holiday house. Is about an hour and a half away from Gqeberha in Oyster Bay. And anyone who knows Oyster Bay is Lani, you've got to have a lot of this to get a house there. And I mean, this is obviously a theme here because he's much older. He's a business owner, a property investment. He's got a lot of that. And she's much younger, so you can make obvious inferences. And that's another thing that good old Rob does, is that he tells us that she was jealous. She was jealous of him. I invite you to go look at pictures of him in the media and ask if you would be jealous about that. I reckon the women weren't sliding into your DMs, or good old Rob. I think it was the other way around, if you look at her. So who do you think was the jealous one? Not her. Not her. Anyway, so he says that they went out for a drink in Oyster Bay and they came back to his holiday house. It was just the two of them. And they had a drink, but they didn't drink brandy. Wait for the common theme here. Because brandy made Vanessa aggressive. Yeah, brandy made Vanessa aggressive. Not Rob. Rob is a model citizen. Vanessa was the one who got aggressive. This, I don't know, 60 kilogram woman with bruised ribs. What are you afraid of, Rob? Sorry, I'm so angry. And then they went for a drink with a friend somewhere else, to the friend's house. And then details get murky. All we know is that Vanessa is found in the early hours of the next day by security. She has broken ribs. Broken ribs. You know how much force it takes to break a rib? Kind of, I think, the force that a rugby player, an ex-rugby player might have if he hit you or kicked you. Kind of. So that's not all. That's not all. She had bruises around her neck, all over her arms, all over her legs. The ribs had been cracked so much force that it had moved from its place and had pierced her lung. Yeah, that's not all. That's not all. What was going on here? She had a beaten body, and it looked as though she was beaten with a bottle. What type of monster is this? What type of absolute monster? How can you do that to another person? How can you? Interesting things about this crime scene is that her bags were packed and her phone was zipped. That makes me think she was leaving. I think something happened and Vanessa said to Rob, I'm done. You've beaten me one too many times. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this. And this is also, ladies, this is why you have to be careful when you leave. You have to plan it when you leave. You have to get someone to come and fetch you, because the most dangerous time for you and your abuser is if you try and leave your abuser and you're on your own. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. There's no ways I am victim blaming Vanessa at all. It's not your fault. It's not her fault. But it's the most dangerous time because you don't know how they're going to react. I think what happened is that Rob, good old Rob, who is the shining Mr. Universe, who's all these women are sliding into his DMs and on Facebook. I think what happened is that Vanessa finally had enough and she said, I'm grateful, Rob. I'm going to leave. And he said, you know what? You're not. I broke up my marriage for you. I don't want you with anyone else. And then I think, this is what I think. It hasn't been proven yet. I think he beat her to death. And the worst thing is, he just left her there. Well, he tried to clean up the crime scene. But we all know men are not very good at cleaning. And he had like a half-hearted attempt to clean up the crime scene. He was probably blaming her still then. He's like, oh, Vanessa, you're so anemic. Why did you bleed so much? This makes my life so much harder. He just left her there and he carried on with his life. Okay, he went to go see lawyers first, but I mean, that's not a sign of guilt. Everyone deserves to be represented by a lawyer in South Africa. I think that if there should be no inference in guilt on that. But he just left her there for security to find her in the early hours of the morning. And now he's currently trying to get bail because they've locked him up. Thank goodness. Thank goodness this monster is off the streets. And now he's crying in court every day about how his life has been inconvenienced by being in jail. How about Vanessa? How about the fact that you've taken Vanessa's life? Allegedly. How about the fact that her children don't have a mother to read them bednight stories anymore? That they're going to grow up without a mother just because you hate women. Anyway, guys, that's all the information that I have for now. Bail has not yet been decided, but I will keep you updated. Most importantly is stay safe. Stay safe. I'm going to link some resources below. And also, I'm planning on attending this trial when it happens. So subscribe if you want to see that. Yeah, and that is it for me.